Merry crisis and a happy new fear. A $600 relief check to prevent poverty 10 months into the worst pandemic in 100 years. Corporations and government get 99.9%, and we the serfs get crumbs. America has just become the world's largest corporations welfare state. Anyone and everyone telling you $600 is good enough is telling you that to make sure you never believe better is possible, that better is deserved. Anyone and everyone saying $600 is good enough has a job, sizable salary and great healthcare coverage. And telling people to be grateful for crumbs while the bread factory throws whole loaves at the already bloated is miserable morality. In the coming months, we will see mass evictions, we will see mass foreclosures, we will see whole new 10 cities, with families. But according to those who hold power, this $600 is good enough. The government will bribe you with a check for $600, then hand your kids a tax bill for $3,000, what a deal. They get the chance to give you some of your taxes back, they balk. The $600 stimulus check is a tiny bit of our tax money, it is not theirs. What the hell are the millions of Americans who are struggling to meet their basic needs going to do with a $600 stimulus check? Since 12 million households are more than $5,000 behind in rent, $600 should cover it. Right as the moratorium on evictions is set to expire. It's insulting. $600 isn't even enough for most Americans to pay half their mortgage, as the average is roughly $1,300. Let's not even get started on the cost of housing in most cities. $600 is not even 1 month's rent for a room apartment. Plus food, electricity, gas, internet, water, insurances, $600 will cover it all for sure. That math ain't mathing at all. The American people deserve better. So many families are hurting with business closures etc., with no real aid. It's a slap in the face for essential workers. These officials are poor mathematicians. Meanwhile, members of Congress make $14,500 a month. That's 24x $600 a month. To recap, Congress made $174,000 in publicly funded pay this year, had free publicly funded health care, months of publicly funded paid vacation en route to a publicly funded retirement, and now first to receive a free vaccine, but we get $600 because any more would be too socialist. They gave 1% of what they get annually. What saints they are. Politicians make the big bucks through lobbyists, insider information such as stock exchange, bribes, speeches, anyway they can make a buck because of their position. They have lots of spare time as they only put in the equivalent of half year of work. Yeah, and they claim drug dealers are bad. They are basically legalized bank robbers. Exactly why you don't want big government people. You think this is bad, wait until they unleash democratic socialism. This is why we say no to the big government. This is why we don't want government handouts. If you work hard, you can make more money than the government will ever freely give you. We pay the members of Congress $174,000 a year to decide whether or not we get $600. The US government is passing martinis for the corporate class and crumbs for the working class. It is an absolute travesty to the people that pay them the enormous wages they make. But, let's remember, they are now able to deduct their martinis at lunchtime, a great political accomplishment for sure. How about we take their paychecks and let them figure out how they will pay their bills? Welcome back to the Atlantis Report. You are here for your daily dose of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please take a second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to also hit the notification bell. Many of you have asked me where they can buy silver and gold bullion. You will find in the description box the links where you can buy American Silver Eagle, silver bars, or rounds. I highly recommend that you start stacking some silver bullion for the future. In case you missed it, Congress passed a stimulus for Americans barely surviving during these unnecessary shutdowns but only gave Americans half of it. If you have any questions, they will have to wait, Congress is going on vacation. Same stuff, different day. The billionaires were unharmed by the pandemic, they increased their money hoards by more billions. So it all makes sense. Nothing to see here. They don't think it is a problem whatsoever that a permanent underclass is being created as a direct result of their brutally insensitive and disconnected policies. This is going to create so much hardship for people that other countries have fixed. This way, their banking friends can rack up some more wealth in overage fees from you poors so that eventually it can trickle down to you in the form of a huge tax hike in the near future. Americans are still paying taxes to a failing government right now. It's not the government's money. It's all debt. Borrowed never to be paid back. Only service payments until someday the country implodes monetarily. Trillions of dollars given to businesses is called capitalism. And a few $100s to families who are dying, starving, and evicted is called a handout. This economic stimulus will only artificially inflate the stock market for a sell-off. Stimulus checks of $600 or $2,000 will not prevent Americans from being evicted from their homes. 35% of all dollars created in the history of the United States were created in the last 10 months. $600 stimulus check, greatest theft in the history of the world, and crumbs to the people. The U.S. should give zero foreign aid in the form of grants. We are broke over here, running an annual deficit over $1 trillion, not including any stimulus debt. Why should we Americans borrow money and give it to foreigners? It is so asinine, it's crazy, it even happens. Imagine a person borrowing money to buy a stranger a car. Not a loan, giving it away. No one in the right mind would do that. All U.S. foreign aid should end immediately until all our schools, roads, infrastructure, or tip-top and we don't run a deficit. Then, we can see where we are at on aid. We've given more than probably the rest of the world combined and don't want to. Americans didn't sign up for this charity. In a bill 5,000+ pages long. That not one congressman even read. It's all fun and games to them too. I personally am not into the idea of the government paying us money, except that they were the ones that locked us all down and closed our businesses. Under this situation, compensation is fair play. I would much rather have had them leave everything open and simply pay our medical and/or funeral expenses if we got sick. That and, of course, allow us to collect any unemployment or SSI disability if needed in the event that we were hospitalized. I would much rather be earning my way than being reliant on the government. The world economy has been closed during this last year, and America's economy. Something like 25% of all dollars that ever existed was created in the last year alone. Where did it go? And to pay for that spending, currency all around the world has been devalued. Outright theft and theft from devaluing currency is the greatest theft in the history of the world. Savers lose money. Business closes. Jobs are lost. Economies are destroyed. If you can destroy something, you can control something. And our children are left with the bill. Not only have we lost our economy in the last year, we have lost our trust. At least if you have been awake in the last year. And the government and the elite who have stolen our wealth give us back crumbs in giving pledges and $600 checks. Apparently, every political party now believes that the national debt can be extended to infinity and that an infinite amount of money and credit can be created out of nothing. Our economy now consists of millions of consuming entities. Production is now superfluous and unnecessary. All that matters is that consumers are supplied with adequate amounts of magic money that can create wealth out of nothing. The political spectrum consists of conservatives who are thrilled to keep supplying stimulus checks and Marxists who want to seize all privately held wealth from the majority demographic group, take a cut, then hand it over to other demographic groups. Why does anyone even care about politics anymore? Politics are now an absurd nightmare, just like the rest of the culture. We are getting played. Of the $1 trillion in the relief bill, only 8% goes to citizens in the form of $600 checks? They shut down the business and do this? Congress took a recess during this time and got paid. Shipping money overseas for BS programs? Aren't they supposed to work for us? Why did they pass a stimulus that is giving billions of dollars to foreign countries? And small businesses here don't get anything. The people who vote these liberal politicians in are the ones who complain about big corporations getting rich, and yet these politicians who came up with this stimulus is doing just that. Look up how much money Amazon and Walmart have made during this pandemic, then compare it to the number of small businesses that have closed forever. I am willing to bet that a large percentage of any stimulus money issued in Western nations like the US will end up in China via Walmart and Amazon, and Americans will pay interest on the debt issued to China, and higher middle-class taxes on top. On top of that, many jobs will be outsourced or given to foreign workers, which will remit money to their homeland. Borrowed money will also be wasted in Afghanistan and Iraq to satisfy the military-industrial complex, and the insidious Paris Accords will transfer money to other nations and destroy the American resource sector. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk will be worth $1 trillion in a few years but will continue to get tax breaks. The entire globalist system is wrecking America. We are upping the national debt from $27 trillion to $28 trillion. Ridiculous. The people and companies who made a windfall on the pandemic should be paying for this. We are taking money out of this package and giving it to other countries. Mortgage, rent help was the smallest amount. The entire globalist system is rapacious towards the United States and will bring downfall eventually, maybe now. Ross Perot was right. The only people that support this system are those that temporarily benefit from it. The amount of money that went to foreign countries is pathetic. Everyone who voted for this is an anti-American. Even if Congress gave everybody $1 million, half would be asking for more within a year. Nobody in this country knows how to cut back and stop living beyond their means. Here's an idea: don't depend on the government. No matter the side you're on, they'll disappoint you every time. Merry Christmas to all.